and welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of Sorry You're a Lot. This week, we're talking about...
That's like you did the intro, sorry. I'm just like letting you vibe. I think you're really good at it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's really nice of you.
So, carry on.
This week, we are chatting. Should I stay or should I go?
No, do the drum. Louder.
I can't.
Get your drums out. That was actually really good.
Thanks. It was not on tune or in rhythm or anything.
Oh, I thought that was good.
Thank
Are
you.
you wearing flower right now? You smell really nice.
I am. Thank you.
I got... You can't smell it anymore. I was like, I've got a new perfume. It's shit, apparently. Cyril got me a new perfume, which is like an oud. Oud. And it smells really good, but he could only get like the oily one, not the actual spray, and so it just doesn't really last as long.
I perfume my clothes, not my skin.
With the roll-on thingy, you can't really do it on clothes because it
For sure.
could stain it. But I would do the same thing because it lasts long. Have you seen that people do reviews now on perfume being like lasts on clothing for 12 hours, but lasts on skin for 6 hours?
No, but mine is just because otherwise I'll get a rash.
It makes sense.
Yeah. I'm allergic to sulfates, so...
Yeah. Well, that's probably that's what I do.
Yeah, you know, I get those like little circular rashes.
Yeah, if that comes off it.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Mm.
Anyway,
So I smell great.
she smells great. She has a great introduction.
And
And
you're good at stuff.
if you're allergic to sulfates, you might get round spots on you. So round.
It's like a ring.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's not ringworm.
it's not ringworm. This week, yeah.
You can't go from ringworm. Yeah. Next week we're
Anyway.
talking about bang.
Burying that down. Because also, neither of us have ever had ringworm.
As far as you know, man, I'm talking about. I haven't had ringworm.
I thought you were talking about me, and I'm like, I would know if I had ringworm.
You definitely would know. Yeah, you would definitely know. You would definitely know if you had it. It's like chickenpox all over again. Because Mum is insistent that I had chickenpox as well, and my blood tests say that I had chickenpox. But I don't remember ever having chickenpox.
Did you not have chickenpox when I was 14?
No, Fezzi did.
Are you sure?
Fezzi had it twice. Nutter.
Are you sure you didn't have chickenpox with me?
Mum says I did. I don't remember. I remember you having chickenpox, and I remember Fezzi having chickenpox. I don't remember ever having chickenpox. So that is that. But my blood test says that I
have had it.
yeah, but I don't have any scars or anything. And I remember you getting your scar,
What scar?
your chickenpox scar.
Which one?
Yeah, one.
Yeah,
I know one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why did you think which one though?
Well,
You
I
know,
was
like
like-
4 from.
Well, I was like,
Which scar are you seeing?
which scar are you talking about? Because obviously I have a couple of scars now.
Yeah, but all right, badass. You're like, it's all the fights I've been with my health.
Fighting for my life.
It's all these fights I've been with
Physically
with
scarred.
God, apparently. Anyway, yeah, you're just physically scarred. Yeah, but I don't have any scars, and apparently you
But maybe you
always
just
get one.
No, it's like,
There's no way I wouldn't have picked them. Are you joking? I can't even leave my like spots alone.
don't know.
Anyway,
I don't want to tell you.
Mum's insistent. Mum probably is right.
Mum's watching this right now being like, you did fucking have
She did. She's like, oh my God, you had it at the same time. You were so close. You basically rubbed it on each other.
Well, I just remember being 14.
Do you? That's nice. I don't remember anything.
No, I mean like, and I was
Do you remember times?
convinced it was the flapjack that I'd made at Guides the night before that like had made me ill. I thought I had food poisoning until I started getting spotty.
And then you're like, oh no, Anthony's coming to this.
And then I didn't eat flapjack for like 10 years.
Oh my God.
Do you not remember that?
No.
I was so anti-flapjack.
Now you're like vegan.
Oh,
You know all the best flapjack years are behind you.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, but they have to have like. Wow. That was me making them, whereas if I've ever made them. That's me putting the butter in. Anyway, yeah. So you fight for your life with scars. Yeah, I don't remember having chickenpox.
That's okay. I don't remember you having chickenpox.
Thank you. And that's why I think I didn't have it, because you don't remember me having them, and you remember everything about life.
I barely remember. I barely remember having chickenpox.
Maybe I was too young. Maybe I did have too much. Oh yeah, my DNA test. Is it DNA? No, it's not DNA.
Blood test.
Yes, as I have had it, because you have to have a blood test when you have when you get pregnant.
Really?
Yeah, to find out if you had it, because then you have to have a immunization.
Wild.
Especially if you haven't had it, or you haven't had an immunization, because you're more at risk.
Well, chickenpox as an adult is like a big drama, isn't it?
Yeah. What is it called?
To know.
But it's like... I don't think of it.
My
But
phone,
then I have it at the time.
I'm like frantically searching through my brain.
File.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I keep clicking. All that comes up is strep, and that's just not. It's not right.
On mine, the one that's coming up for me is shingles.
Maybe it is. I think it is shingles.
Is it shingles?
Yeah, I think it's shingles.
Isn't shingles like the vitamin C deficiency?
No, they're vitamin C deficiency.
You know like what pirates used to get?
I think it's shingles. I think your brain was telling you correct.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna have a quick Google. 1 second, guys.
Go with us, listeners.
1 sec, because there's someone screaming out there. Hi there. It's shingles. Adult.
How do I chicken do?
Name. Well, I'm not the first one, because other people are also. Yeah, shingles.
Oh my god.
Also known as herpes. But that's AI telling us, so that might not be right. Chickenpox is also known as varicella. The virus that causes chickenpox, varicella zoster virus, can reactivate years later in adulthood as shingles, also known as herpes zoster.
Well, there's like 8 different types of herpes or something, isn't there?
Yeah. That's fun, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, so...
Because aren't cold sores, cold
Herpes.
sores, herpes?
yeah.
Cold sores.
But they are an STI then. Even cold sores, but it just would have been transmitted like...
No, I don't think it's like B and D or 3 and 5 is like sexually
I
transmitted.
can have a cold sore and kiss you, and you get a cold sore, and you're like, no, you wouldn't, because I wouldn't fucking kiss you. No, but like I can have a cold sore and then kiss you, and then you could get a cold sore, and that would
Desperately trying to swallow my smoothie.
And now you're gonna have them always.
That's not sexually transmitted.
Sorry, it's me make out with you sexual. Sorry. Sorry, I'm not into. Oh, insect. God. Also, it doesn't help, yeah, that the cats have suddenly got to me on one side of my face. All of a sudden, I'm snotty in one nostril and one of my eyes is running. Apparently, the antihistamine you gave me only half worked. Literally. Just straight down the middle.
Literally went down your left side.
My brain was like, nah. The body says, release it to only half. And what were they talking about before we got into chickenpox?
Why are you leaving the UK?
Because of chickenpox. No, beats me. Anyway, so let's just start again, shall we? Should I say or should I go?
So before Scott and I moved to Westham, neither of us could ever imagine living anywhere other than London.
Right.
Like our whole families were here.
Yeah.
We'd always lived here. I think we were both very like, where else would we live? And then we moved to Weston, and the small town vibe is nice.
Yeah.
No, it's nice. Like,
You know your neighbours.
no, never knew our neighbours, but like
When I said that, I was like, I really like my neighbour. One of my neighbours in my local place.
like
With all the people around us, like one thing.
kind of one neighbour, but like, you know, people would say hello. People would remember your order when you go into like.
That's disgusting. How dare you?
Like it's
Don't
obviously
say hi to me and don't remember my order.
like as someone with, you know, food allergies, people remembering that I'm allergic to dairy.
Do you not think it's because you were out of London? They were like, it's just really weird.
No.
Like, you're one of those, are you?
No.
You're vegan.
They remembered other things about me.
Oh, that's nice. I have very much faith.
They weren't just like, Gary, the vegan's here.
Careful all your tarts, Gary. Sorry. I mean, sorry. I'm always glad to be right with you.
Like everyone, I think we just quickly assimilated, and along came Lonely, became like.
To be fair, you're quite a vibe. To be honest, you're quite friendly and chatty. I think, in general, especially with people in the service industry. So, like, you know how like Pret can give like free coffees, like to a certain amount. You would be that one. Yeah.
I break people down.
Yeah.
I got free coffees from Pret for like a year.
Yeah.
It was like a whole year where I didn't pay for coffee in Pret.
Pre-podcast, obviously. Let's not shout that out.
Yeah.
Bastards.
I mean, this is also pre-pandemic. I mean,
This is a while ago.
I mean, obviously, there's like a.
I'm now no longer friendly with people. Are they not? I'm back in London now. Piece of shit.
I guess also there is a pretty privilege that comes into this also.
Yeah, they're insane. You're so cute.
But I mean, just being,
Yeah.
slim, white and blonde, there's also a... But I do break people down, people...
Don't like how you associated blonde and pretty then as a brunette. You like white, blonde, slim.
So it's like a stereotype.
And you were like, you fat dead people.
So last week's episode was all about, am I the drama?
I love that you moved on from that.
You're acting like the drama
Pretty.
right now.
Pretty people. Also, I have pretty privileges.
You're taking...
I'm like, okay.
You're taking, basic descriptions of me very personally.
Saying life is unfair.
But like, I break people down. you know?
Yeah. Also, it's nice that like a conscious choice. You're just nice.
Yeah.
Because also you worked in the services.
I'm
I'm
intentionally nice.
Yeah.
No matter what day I'm having,
Yeah.
I'm not walking into a coffee shop and being like, cappuccino. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, how's it going? How's your day?
And it's actually it's really cute to see the interaction. Because it's always like you come and you're like, hi, how are you? And you're like waiting for a response. Because normally people are like, oh, hi, how are you? Can I get a...
Yeah.
And you're like... And they're like, oh, pretty shit actually.
I hate
And you're like,
it.
I get it, babe. Yeah, that's for sure. Any other prospect you want to go? And you're having a whole cute conversation. And there's like a white man behind you being like, oh, me in 10 minutes. Stop being nice to her. And he's talking about the waiter. Honestly. And then but it's really cute because you see like the general, they go from like the automatic to all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm okay.
And
Here's free coffee.
I see it also, if there's somewhere that I go in a lot, they warm up to me over time.
Yeah. Because even when someone's nice to you the first time, you can give like a nice response, but you still feel like it's a bit like...
Yeah.
And if you're doing it every time, you're like, oh, you're a nice... Oh,
You actually
nice
care.
person. Oh, especially if you remember stuff about them. I get there with customers all the time and they're like, when you mention something that they've said to you and you're like, and they're like always like, oh, you remembered? Oh. They're like, how's that child of yours?
Yeah, how's anything about your life?
Oh, okay. Don't remember me, do you? We are.
But I do it in workplaces as well.
But it's like a nice way of being.
Yeah.
And that's not very London.
I want to add to people's day.
Yeah. I'm like 80% there with you.
So yeah, then when we moved back to London,
Uh.
I think we missed some of the small town elements. Yeah.
So it's funny. So I have never imagined living anywhere but London. However, I could see that if I wanted to do like a little rural village, in my head, I'd be like, that's the dream, like in a movie, you know? I don't like people talking to me.
So you're like...
I don't want small talk. I don't want you want people. I'm very London. Also, Sunil said that, and I quote, why would I move from Africa to the UK to live anywhere but London? That's just what he said. Because obviously, like, London is like the big city, like it's where you get the money, it's where you like all of that head, right? So coming from like someone who doesn't know the UK, doesn't know different parts of the UK, he's seen it as London is like the goal and that's where you want to live. And I guess also being African Muslim, going outside London can be a bit tricky.
Yeah, I get from your level of awareness.
Can be a bit tricky.
But Sahil's so antisocial.
Yeah, that's why I like London.
He
doesn't want to talk to people.
He just wants to be so.
Mum and Dad, it was a nightmare. All the neighbours were talking. They were chatting, giving hugs. Don't like being touched by anyone. And so obviously I was doing it back because, you know, I was hugging everyone. But I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be mean, you know?
I'm not going to reject those hugs.
I'm not going to be like, stop it, Eden. Get your hands off here. No, but like I'm like chatting back. But it's exhausting.
And babe.
It's exhausting. That sounds really mean. I just like, I don't know. Like I'll give you all my love and attention if I know you and I could do very base level small talk in customer service. Like I could do. I don't want you to just stand there though and have a basic conversation with you go on too long.
Well, that's why I hate small talk. I don't want you to ask me any questions if you don't actually care about the answers.
Yeah.
If you don't care, don't ask me.
And a lot of the time I think people don't actually care, so I just don't want to.
Yeah, I would rather sit here in silence.
And also, if I'm at work and you know want to have a full conversation with me and you're asking about how I am, I'm a bit like, well, if you really want to talk about it, we could talk outside because I can't do this right now because I've got quite a lot to do.
If you really want to know, I'm not actually doing it.
I'm actually quite busy right now. But I don't know. London is for me, used to be, because actually I'm a bit anti-London and UK now. But I think it used to be for me, like, I like the vibe of London. I like the kind of like, even, okay, you still have like the little kind of, you still know your neighbours, like if you intentionally, you know, make them. If you intentionally want to know your neighbours, you can. Don't you?
So obviously we moved back to London for family connections. Like obviously you had just had Nora. Scott's parents were in London. Mum and Dad were in London. Like we moved back to be...
And where are they now?
We moved back to be close to everyone.
Yeah.
And then obviously...
Everyone left.
Everyone's just gone.
When you say that though, all the people you just mentioned are your mum and dad left.
Yeah.
Scott's parents are still here. Nora and I are still here.
Yeah. I guess that, like, you know, when there's lots of people you've moved back from and the third of...
If more people are up north now, it's a bit like...
Yeah.
Is our whole family up north now? Because also you can't really count the people who live in like Barnet, Finchley as live in London. So...
No, because it's not...
Because they're not in London. Sure enough. I mentioned that joke again when I went to Mum and Dad's and they still don't find it funny. They're still like, it was London. It was a London postcode.
And we're now like 300 miles away and they're like, it was fucking London.
It was London. You could walk to a tube station. I was like, yes, you had to walk to a tube station, did you? Was it a half an hour walk?
Was it a small amount?
Did you have to get a bus to the tube? If you do have to do that, you're not in London anymore. But that's what my mum and dad, like mum and dad's thing was always really annoying with their like housing place because like where they were.
No, I know. I'm just thinking about you getting the bus to Old Street today.
Yeah. I don't have to though.
No,
I could walk it.
Yeah, I walk it.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice walk.
Mine was that it took me 45 minutes to leave the house when I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
I was going to walk. I was going to go straight from Norris Nursery to Old Street and I was going to walk it. And then all of a sudden I was like, time.
Anyway,
also I guess that's actually a good point about London is the transport. Because that's all I hear outside London is just how awful it is.
Well, yeah, Mum was saying that, like...
The buses come every half an hour. It's like one bus.
And sometimes it just gets randomly cancelled.
That's insane.
Yeah. She was saying, like...
And that would drive me nuts.
I think she was saying that there was, like, a 10 to 8 bus that would get her perfectly on time for 8:30. And, like, the day she went for that bus, it was just cancelled.
That's crazy.
So she ended up waiting, like, 45 minutes for a bus.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And
then she was late.
I would get an Uber, but being so out of London
Don't know.
and so out of any like kind of like city bit. You wouldn't get that.
Do you think you'll stay in London
Yeah.
forever?
No. If we move, we're moving out of the UK. I can't imagine living anywhere else in the UK, and I can't imagine. I don't even can't imagine. I just wouldn't want it. And like, I think the UK economy and vibes are now less than down.
Can you not imagine living anywhere else in the UK because of Sahel?
Also, that.
Like, is it like casual racism that you're worried about?
Yes and no. Like, yes, because when we were like house hunting anyway, a lot of the race riots were happening in all the places that were that had quite nicely priced houses. And I was like, oh, can't go there. But also like, London is so multicultural.
I mean, obviously there were race riots in London too.
No, I know. But obviously a lot of it was, there were a lot more people against in London, whereas I think they were outnumbered outside.
Saw quite a nice Smirnoff vodka advert yesterday. It was about how like
There's a lot of mosques in London as well. Yeah.
it was like the screen was full of all these different coloured balls, and they were like all pouring into a glass, and then like as they hit the glass, it was like gymnastics people.
Oh, I've seen it. No,
And
yeah.
like they were
I hate that advert.
talking about how we're like better together and we're all different, and
He didn't hate it for that. I just think he hated the gymnastics. It wasn't like the message is awful. I remember seeing it. It's like the Tina advert. Have you seen the Tina advert? Who's the lady who done Mean Girls? Tina Fey.
Tina Fey.
Yeah. So she done an advert and it's like booking.com or something, or like maybe it's booking.com.
yeah,
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, which Tina would, like, I can be whatever Tina I want.
yeah.
That every time it goes on, I'm like, I don't care what Tina you are. Like, tells me that. We're like, skip. And you can't, because it's like the 30-second advert. You can't skip on YouTube.
I thought this was going to be like, yeah, Tina Fey did an advert on inclusion and I hated it, and I was going to be like,
No, I love inclusion. This is all the bad. I love inclusion. But no, but
but yeah, I guess there's an
Anyway,
extra
yeah.
element that you have to now consider.
yeah, I think that's what I was talking to Mum and Dad about recently. Was like, it's not just me that would be moving. Well, hopefully. Hope so. Hope it's not like just me. But yeah, like there's a level of we need to know if there's like a mosque.
Yeah.
We need to know if there's people who are going to bomb the mosque or like try and break the mosque.
That could happen anywhere though.
100%. But it's more common
But I guess even
when there's a rise of race riots and people who don't like Muslims
yes,
and predominantly white areas and normally those people.
yes. I mean,
Mum and Dad have moved to a predominantly white area.
yeah.
Also, anywhere
Sorry,
I
my
would
brain's
do the
getting-
research.
My brain's getting stuck on like no one's bombing mosques in the UK.
As much as we know. You never know, Labour might hate it.
Anyway, there's more to consider. I don't
yeah.
sorry, I don't want to make a joke about this. Like I just
Yeah, I'm fine.
um
Hate us as well. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know that makes you sound you're a bit tense, babe. It's okay. I don't actually think you do.
just trying to finish my point.
The view is mine.
There's more to consider. Yeah, you need a mask. You need even things like you need a school.
Yeah, a good school. Like anyone else, but a good school. I want a good school.
I need a shit school.
I want it to be basically I mean affordable good school. Basically what I mean. And yeah, just I don't know. Like there's just more. Okay, for instance, being a woman, I would be choosing somewhere that, like, when I go home, it's going to be safe to go home. Like, there's so many flats that we were viewing, and like had booked into view, and then I found out that they were like, the only way to get it, or the only easily accessible way, was to go through this really long alleyway. And I was like, even at 4 p.m. during the winter, that's me a nightmare. Like, I'm not going to feel safe doing that. Or it was like, you could walk to your like train station, but it would be like, if I was doing, like, I wouldn't want to walk that like journey through like in the dark or whatever, or badly lit or whatever, in the winter. And I also wouldn't like to like I do a lot of, like, do you know what I mean? Like you're trying to find places that are safe for you no matter what the time is, like, and what the day is, because a lot of the flats are built on like in like warehouses or old warehouses, so some of them haven't actually got a village yet. But yeah, you just have to consider
the infrastructure, what's around.
Yeah, because also all these new builds seem lovely, but and like I love the idea of like it being more like eco-friendly, or like, you know, more keeping the heat in, apparently just letting you burn in the summer, and like all of that stuff. But yeah, you have to think about all of these tiny little aspects that you wouldn't necessarily have to think about. And then obviously I have the layered thing about my husband not being English, and also us being Muslim. And it's not something that I've had to think about, and it isn't necessarily in the forefront of my mind a lot of the time. And I go, oh yeah.
Do you think it's also because Sahil and Nora are white passing?
Yeah. That, I think that piece a lot. Because also that's what I said with Sahil during the race ride. I was like, don't talk to anyone, don't look at anyone. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, if anyone says to you and is like, did you see the immigrants? Don't open your mouth, because they're going to instantly know that you are not English. Not that someone's going to do that. But you know, like, you know, when you go to like the worst case scenario, like, people won't look at him and automatically be like, foreign. Well, not even foreign, not white. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because actually they don't actually care if you're foreign or not. It's just whether you're white or not.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of, how they just don't talk to anyone. Don't open your mouth. Don't even call anyone.
It's really sad, isn't it, that like in 2024, we always talk about racism like it's this thing from the past.
Oh yeah. But also that's how people talk about the UK though. They're like racism in the UK. It's like, oh no, okay, before the race riots, they would always say, oh, there's no racism in the UK. You'd always have like a chosen like black person in like some place like the Conservative Party or whatever party it was to talk about it, and it would be like the token person to be the voice of apparently all people who aren't white in the UK, to say, no, I've never faced any racism in the UK, like never, when actually it's the whole system. Like,
yeah.
And I don't think people, I really don't think people put like their, what's the hat on? They're like, they're trying to, I don't think people delve so deep into issues where they want to understand it more. Like, when I say that like people don't want certain areas to be gentrified, or they are being gentrified or whatever, or then when we say about systemic racism and you're saying that it's literally the system, and you're like, they're like, oh, but like how? I'm like, well, okay, if you're saying that there's like a high knife crime, have you looked at how many schools are closed in that area? Have you looked at how much funding they get for extracurricular activities in that area? Have you looked at how much their council puts towards their security and, you know, things like that? I'm like, there's so many things that as a white person you wouldn't automatically think of.
I think racism in the UK is considered either something of the working class, or like, you know, like, oh, very posh people are very racist. They're like
Posh old people.
Yeah. But, and like, you know,
there's old people again.
The middle everyday person isn't racist.
Yeah.
But actually, I think a lot of racism in the UK is top down because it is so systemic.
Yeah.
It's woven into our everyday life.
No.
And I think it's all meshed up with classism and these kind of old ideas and then like new ideas, and it's distraction, you know, it's rich people being like, oh no, because, you know, like in every big financial crisis, whilst we're squabbling amongst ourselves about, you know, there's only 4 jobs to 10 people, and the rich people are like, look, it's the immigrants coming for your jobs, whilst their like profits are going up and up and up. It's distraction to flare it up. But I think in things like the race riots, they flare up, and then when they settle down, people are like, oh no, that was just, you know, a group of people.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was ever able to flare up.
Yeah. The fact that people felt like they could just go out. And it terrifies me that these people have just gone back to like...
And now you won't know again.
Yeah. And also I hate the whole thing when it's like about the prison systems. And they're like, oh, you're just throwing loads of people in prison recently for this, but, you know, you're letting out rapists. And you're like, what?
I was with Nadia, and I went to a networking thing recently. We ended up in Honest Burger, and we were talking to, Nadia was just there whilst I was talking to the manager.
Did you get free coffee?
No, he was very nice. But this was like his second top-up job, which is kind of crazy because he was a prison warden.
Right.
And needs a top-up job.
Which is insane.
Insane.
So they're not paid enough to...
Yeah.
Yep, okay, cool.
And he was saying, like, you know, with all the people coming out of prison recently, like, we were prepared. It was thought out. We haven't just opened up the doors and, like, let people out. And he was very chatty, and I didn't really want to be like, oh, babe, I think probably too many people are in prison that shouldn't be. You know,
that's a whole other thing.
I didn't want to be like, I don't think, you know, black boys that were like 16 who got found with like 1 joint should be in prison. But I didn't really want to get into that conversation when I was just trying to eat dinner, because I'd already got in too deep with him.
And Nadia was like,
so only if we don't eat right now, I'm going to eat you. And I'm just like, yeah, what do you think? So yeah, I, you know, open the doors wider if that's who you're letting out. But I think the saddest part is these people with big extreme racist views who have been violent and aggressive, who've ended up in prison because of it. They're going to come out in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years now even more aggressive and violent because our prison system isn't rehabilitation, it's just locking them away.
Yeah, 100%.
So they're going to come out now even more racist, thinking that they've now lost 5 years of their life to the immigrants.
And there's always a thing with racism as well, is that you feel like you're above that other person. So exponentially in the prison system right now is black men so over proportionally put in prison for, it's not proportionate in like the sentencing, right? So they now be put away.
It's proportionate based on race, like
just the judge's vibe that day. Like them put into prison with all of these, like, you know, even what they want to say is like violent black men.
Yeah.
And so now they're going to be like, they already have the ego about them and they're above them. Maybe even they say these views and get beaten up because you're now in a prison with people who you're saying these things about. So obviously they're going to feel, do you know what I mean? Like it will just, do you know what I mean? Like it will just, exactly. And for whatever reason, like it will get even bigger. And they'll come out with the even more so.
Yeah.
But actually, the whole conversation should have been about crime against women.
There's no...
Violence against women.
There's no rehabilitation. There's no therapy. There's no inwards. There's no anti-racist kind of unlearning. Yeah. You just get locked away with your anger.
And we already know that the naughty step does not work.
Yeah.
There has been studies on it. You just get more... Like, also, like, the straight away they just go to back, oh, we need to bring back, like, more strict stop and searches.
Yeah. What's that going to do?
And it's like, what are you on about?
I think also my final point that I'm holding in my head is sentencing is racist. Like we were saying, like disproportionately to the crime is the sentencing. Yeah. You know, it's something that a white man might only get community service for, a black man will get prison time.
Yeah.
Even if it's a first offence.
Yeah.
That has been repeatedly documented. And it's the same with drugs.
And also it festers as well with the media and the way that they report things as well. Like,
Well, it becomes self-fulfilling. We've got more black men in prison.
The awful way that they described, it's really bad, I can't remember his name. There was a young black boy who was going to school, and then there was that knife-wielding, sword-wielding mental white man who killed him.
Yeah.
And it was put in the papers. I think one of them was the Sun, so it was kind of like... it was like sword wielding boy, or something, family grieving, something like that. And it was like, that article has basically made it seem like, because you're not gonna, it's a tiny little box, so it made it look like it was
the boy.
Yeah, and it was a picture of his face as well. So it's a young black boy next to a sword-wielding...
maniac, blah, blah, blah. They do that quite a lot.
Yeah. It's not about... I'm just saying, like, that was the one that came inside.
So I just mean in general, like, it's intentional media misrepresentation.
Yeah, 100%.
We have veered off.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So London...
But I feel like we've probably only got, like, 5 minutes left.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think that's... Okay, part of the reason that I think I wouldn't want to live anywhere else, and I do like London, is like the multiculturalism. And I think if I was to move, it would be out of the UK completely, because even before the race riots, I think genuinely like violence against women has made me not want to be in the UK. And I would think about the place I'm going. I'm not going to go to anywhere else, because obviously the violence against women is everywhere and racism is everywhere. But I would think about the place that I would want to go, like really actually like pros and cons it, find out the best place. Because, having a baby girl, that's all I think about is like her safety. And all I think about as well is how much harassment I received as a child and in school uniform or not in school uniform before the age of like 16. It was way more than it was between the ages of 17 and 20.
Yeah, I got way more harassment as a teenager and in my early 20s than I ever do now.
Mine was before that. Mine was before the age of 16. I had more harassment before the age of 16 than I did between the ages of like 17 and 20. And then even less than I get now.
You know, going out in my school uniform.
Yeah. And ew.
Yeah.
But that's part of the thing, is like, that's all I think about is like, what's the best place to raise Nora?
Yeah.
It's not even about me anymore. And also you have to think about that because you need to see if there's jobs or whatever. But like, all that's in my head is like trying to make it safe for her as much as possible.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like I want, like, okay, like how you have in this little courtyard, right? You have all the kids like playing around. Like I want that.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
But I also am very much aware that that could be dying out as well. And in general, like it's very like a niche kind of like little community.
Yeah. I think we are lucky.
And I think you really have to pros and cons it. And I think like, okay, one point that we haven't mentioned in this is the rising cost. How expensive it is.
Yeah.
Even shared ownership isn't like the cheaper option now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm looking at like places and like they'll say 2-bedroom and actually the second is a cupboard, or it will be like no, this is a lovely bedroom size. But like, do you know what I mean? Like it's just not. They're making places smaller. They're trying to give more perks. There's no parking or driving. Like they're trying to make London now just not for driving people, or if you drive, you're driving from out of London in. Like all the new builds have no parking.
It's because of space though, isn't it?
Yes and no, because a lot of the places that when I was talking to estate agents, they were saying that a lot of places that were being built had already been given permission for parking. And then it's like one particular place I know that they had been given permission for parking. Planning had already been approved. And they got a letter from Hackney Council after it had been bill, like started building, saying that we're not going to approve any parking permits or parking for your tenants. So they had to get rid of it. And like, obviously they're trying to make it, not as pollutioned.
I just think...
Meanwhile, we have a private Thames water company that has been poisoning everyone.
just
and
dumping water, dumping sewage in the waste.
But it's also being really expensive and, potentially poisoning. But also, there was a thing in Hackney when Nora was, before she was 1, I think it was, they found... it was like a disease that had been eradicated in the water system. So all the children in Hackney had to be given an extra dose.
Excellent.
I can't remember what it was, but it was something that was like in the water. So basically, it'd been, and because one of the pipes had been like an old, like...
Contaminated.
Yeah. And that was only because they found out and it'd been like leaked. Not because they wanted to tell people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's Hackney as well. So I wonder how many children have been affected by it. But yeah, so the UK is just...
Okay, it's not vibing.
I've really fallen out of London and the UK, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not brilliant.
And it's been before I had Nora. It wasn't just like...
I think I've become very disillusioned, disenfranchised with just like...
The world. Yeah, same.
Feel so small and insignificant.
Yeah.
And inconsequential.
Especially when I go on one and see like...
I don't feel like anyone speaks or represents me.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I feel... Wow. That's a lot of rain. Glad I'm wearing an umbrella. And I'm glad I'm wearing red emoji. But yeah, I think that's the same feeling that a lot of people are having. Yeah. And they don't feel represented. But then also, like, you look at the world, you don't see anywhere that's like, oh, that's the goal. Do you know what I mean? I think everything is just kind of...
Bit shit.
And every time I think we're at the peak of like...
Yeah, it gets worse.
We have to be going over... We have to be going over the next corner now. We must be turning a corner. Like, we must be about to come on a decline where things are about to get better. Do you know what I mean? And then it gets worse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and then, as well as a ground over in London. Like, that's that type of,
Yeah. Incursion.
Yeah, sorry, not voting.
Next week.
Yeah. We are talking about... Come on, food. Oh, are we still doing that one? Should we skip to this one? Because even this is like... Should we do this one?
Yeah. Work-life balance.
Next week, which was definitely on the plan from the beginning, is work-life balance a myth? It probably goes on really well from
yeah.
Do we hate the UK or not?
Yeah.
That was the title of this show. I feel like, okay, listeners, let us know. I feel like a lot of our episodes, I feel like I'm part of a negative Debbie Downer on it, and then we don't ever come up with a positive at the end. Like, even the politics episode...
You'd be like, there's no resolution.
Like, there's no resolution. There's no, like, even a hint of positive. Like, should we stay in the UK or not? I just basically listed all the things in the UK and London that are shit. And then we were on a whole tangent about how racist the UK is. And that how no other place is actually that much better. And then we went, and then next week...
Like, we'll do a whole episode on just being really positive.
That's not very realistic though, is it?
Then it just is what it is.
This is like bad customer service. This is like small talk.
So join us next week for work-life balance.
Let us know if you think our episodes need a bit of a enlightened...
Do we need a bit of cheering up?
I think you're quite cheery. I think it's me. We're like, yeah, but like other places, and you're like, no. I hate everything. Come on, Kate, but this can't be that bad. It's the worst. It's the absolute worst.
I hate everything.
What is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, we'll work on that.
We'll work on trying to like things more.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for joining us for episode 4. See you next week. Yeah. See you next week for episode 5. Work-life balance. Is it a myth? Dun, dun, dun.
Is it?
Love you. Bye.
Bye.